It's time for some major championship 9-ball, and for two of the great players in the world to move closer to a chance at a most prestigious title. 8th ranked Helena Tornfeld, the Sledgehammer, the former U.S. Open champion. Number 1 ranked Alison Fisher, the Duchess of Doom, 2-time and defending U.S. Open champion. Only one will move on in pursuit of another U.S. Open crown next. From the stunning Sandia Resort and Casino in Albuquerque, New Mexico, it's quarterfinal action at the QTR U.S. Open 9-ball championship presented by the American Pool Players Association. Hello everybody, welcome inside the Sandia Resort and Casino, the land of enchantment here in New Mexico. We're happy you're with us as always for a prestigious event, the U.S. Open. Mitch Lawrence and the striking Viking Ava Mattia Lawrence. You have won this title 2 times. You know what it means. The players out here would kill to have this title. We have in our midst quarterfinal action, bonus coverage if you will. Both the players we're about to see in quarterfinal action have already won this title. They too know what it means. Helena Tornfeld and Alison Fisher.
Yeah, and on top of that, Alison Fisher being the defending champion of this event. I know she wants it again, obviously, and Helena hasn't won in a while, so she's definitely hungry. I talked to her for a while, and she knows that the one thing she really has to get right and really perfect in this match is her break. If her break's not working, she could be a definite underdog to Alison in this match.
So we're expecting a good, clean matchup between two former champions.
Big fight, big fight.
So as we settle into what we think will be a very, very exciting quarterfinal matchup between these players, let's look at our road to the finals, brought to you by Ozone Billiards, your online source for billiard supplies. And in this quarterfinal bonus coverage, you will get to see 8 players. The winner of this matchup between Alison and Helena will meet the winner of the Vivian Villarreal-Pam Treadway matchup. And our other quarterfinal matches, Monica Webb and Julie Kelly, and Kim Shaw and Karen Tor. 8 out of 64 players that started the week in what is, Ava, surely one of the toughest tournaments of the year in terms of pressure and obviously prestige.
Well, there's no question, and if you one of the top players decide to miss one tournament, this would obviously never be one of the ones. So you're always going to have the best players from all over the world, Asia, Europe, here in the U.S., same as the National. So these are 2 heavy tournaments.
Helena Tornfeld has won the lag. She will have the opening break. And we call her the Sledgehammer for good reason. Powerful, powerful break, Ava.
Powerful break, but she hit those a little bit off. She hit them on the side a little bit, and that's why she lost so much power on the break there. And also, look how the balls on the left there kind of grouped together in one area. That's usually a sign when you hit the balls a little bit off to the side. Cue ball's way up here. Luckily for Alison, the one landed right close to it, and she has an opportunity here to play a safety. I don't know if she can make it past that 8. It's going to be very, very close. Yeah, she can make it.
So the Duchess of Doom to the table on Helena's break. We'll quickly give you the rules of this quarterfinal matchup at the U.S. Open. A race to 7 to move on into the semis. It will be alternating break, a 30-second shot clock with 1 extension per rack, and it will be cue ball fouls only.
Long tester here for Alison. She's on the rail. The good thing here is she can just cinch this 2 ball and watch the cue ball. It's going to go straight across for a perfect position on this 3. So all she had to do there was focus on making the 2. She didn't have to create anything. And here's where she's got to pay attention. See right here? There's your 4 ball. So she has the angle to come out either one rail out here or just drift straight up for the 4. That's not a problem. The problem is that the pocket is blocked. And now she's looking at, should she play a combination on that 5 hanging right there? Does the 9 perhaps go by? Yes. There's a chance that she can shoot the 4-9 combination and literally aim to shoot the 9 into the rail, and it could just trickle off the 5. We'll see if that's what she's going to do. So I really do believe that if there's enough room to get by that 5 ball, you're going to be looking at a 4-9 combination billiard off the 5.
This would be a very, very big start for Alison Fisher. should she get this first game on Helena's break. And uses the 5.
It almost hung right there. Little snicker from Allison. Grateful that ball fell in.
Well, you talked early on about how the balls were all clustered up toward that corner pocket, and Allison Fisher takes care of business and does what she needs to do. And I think she has to feel good because 2 really good shots before this, actually 3 shots before this, set up this game winner by Allison Fisher, the Duchess of Doom. Nobody has done this better over the years than Allison Fisher. Jumps out to a 1-rack lead over Helena Tornfeld. The QTech Q's U.S. Open 9-Ball Championship is brought to you by Brunswick Billiards. Since 1845, the standard of superior craftsmanship preferred by experts around the world. By QTech Q's, serious cues for serious players. And by Sandia Resort and Casino, close to home, far from ordinary. Here at the Sandia Resort and Casino in Albuquerque, Helena Tornfeld and Allison Fisher locked up in the quarterfinals of the QTech Q's U.S. Open 9-Ball Championship. Allison leading 3-1, middle of rack 5. Both players a little bit off their game, trying to establish some control. Helena needing this rack desperately, would be within 1, and if Allison can get it, push it back up to a 3-rack lead and erase the 7.
I think she's going to cross this, Mitch, and just play the 5 ball straight up to the other side. And if she can do this with the perfect touch, she may even snooker her behind the 7. Oh no, she hit it way too thin. Way too thin. She needed the 5 ball to be in the middle of the rail right there, not that close to the pocket. That's big trouble. All right.
4 balls left on the table for Allison Fisher. I would be very, very surprised if rack number 5 doesn't go in her column.
Look out, look for the 9. Look for the 9. Well, I am really surprised. You know, the one thing is all players go through times where you're not comfortable, you're not playing that well. We've seen people do it before, especially when they play Allison. You tend to want it too badly, like Helena is here. But Allison rarely does. But when she does have weak moments like this, she fixes it within a rack or 2, and she's back to her perfect form again. This is the longest in a match that I've seen Allison, as uncomfortable as she is. Shot making, position play, just everything a little bit off. And look at this. Helena's got a chance to creep a little bit closer here and put this at 3 games to 2. She's got 3 balls on the table. Perfect angle on this 7, it looks like, to come spin with a lot of right down for the 8 on the other side of the table. A lot of low right.
Now, on Helena's side, you're talking about watching Allison go for a number of racks now off form, if you will. And if you're Helena, you got to be thinking to yourself, I have to take advantage of this, because you don't get that chance too often.
And that's true, and that's just, that's what you've got to be careful of, is putting that pressure on. You have to do it. But I think, judging from her face, this is a different Helena. She looks a little bit more irritated now, like, okay, Helena, snap out of it. not that often that you're going to be playing Allie and she's going to be missing shots that she and missing position the way she is now. I have to snap out of this and take advantage.
And does in that rack. So the last 2 racks now for Helena Tornfeld. It matters not how you get there, but only that you put them on the board. Still trails by 1 here at the U.S. Open. It's time to take a look at another of our top finishers here in Albuquerque, brought to you by the American Pool Players Association. Melissa Little, the Viper from Boulder, Colorado, ranked 26th in the world, had a terrific week here at the U.S. Open with a hard-earned 9th place finish. As we look at Allison Fisher, trying to figure out what's going on as we move into rack number 8 here in the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open 9-ball championship. Helena Tornfeld has just taken the lead at 4 games to 3, and here is what set it up. After a safety by Helena, Allison trying to play one back and hide that cue ball kind of behind the 8, but gets more than she bargained for. Foul, ball in hand for Helena, who took care of the rest of rack 7. First 3 racks to Allison, next 4 to Helena. Race to 7 to move into the semifinals. Mitch Lawrence and the striking Viking, Ava Mattia Lawrence. And there the supporting cast, ESPN, Brunswick Billiards, the WPBA Classic Tour, all the great sponsors responsible for you getting to see these players. And normally, Ava, we are so used to seeing exceptional play, especially out of these two who've been around for so long. Very, very unusual to see the kind of missing and position errors that we've seen.
It's like we spoke of before, you get so spoiled with Allison in particular that she always shows up to play, and she brings her A game about 98% of the time. Even when she's a little bit off, she still plays great pool. Today has not been one of those days. I mean, it's been hard to watch.
And that's a great example. Look at that break. Very solid cue ball parked right in the middle of the table. Nothing on the break.
Nothing on the break. A little uphill battle now. And Helena doesn't really have a shot at this one. There's no reason to go crazy here and try to cut this 1 ball in. But she has a lot to work with here with the 8, the 9. And she's got the 6, the 2. Got a lot of blockers to hide behind here. Just pick one and make sure it's a good one, because she's got the definite advantage right now, not only with the score, but Allison is definitely rattled. Helena looks more comfortable. She cannot let go of this, and she just did. Wow. That of all shots could be the one that ends up haunting Helena when she tries to go to bed tonight, because that was incredibly uncalled for.
It is almost a stunned room in here. It's almost like you're waiting for them to snap out of it. I can't explain it. It's almost like the Twilight Zone.
And although she's been a little tentative, it looked like Helena really had snapped out of it, and she was confident and looking a little bit more in control. And then an error like that with an open table, this is, you know, the opportunity that Allison has been hoping for to get back in. And there's such a big difference, Mitch, when you've been playing poorly and you've been sitting, and you constantly get to the table and your opponent leaves you a tough shot. You have a bank, like that last safety she scratched on. If you're always a little bit of a tricky situation, but letting a player start with ball in hand where you can move the cue ball around and you never have a very difficult shot, that's a huge difference. Again, but I would say 6 inches farther than Allison had wanted there. No disaster. Makes this with a little bit of low left, and she can still draw the cue ball in, get position on the 5, but much tougher shot than she needed to have right here. Still not comfortable. Worked it out.
We will again mention, as Allison takes a walk around, trying to figure out position for the next few shots after this. A little bit of discomfort in her right eye. Interesting to find out which is her dominant eye, Ava. All of us have one eye that's...
Oh, I'm sure the way she stands up on the shot, I'm sure it's her right eye. Yeah.
And you think about it, she had surgery just beneath that right eye. A bit of a cancerous skin condition that she took care of early in the week, came on quickly. And she did what you need to do, take care of it quickly. As I said before, she will never, ever use anything as an excuse or admit to anything. I have to wonder myself whether it doesn't play a small part.
Maybe the strong television lights coming from all sides, coming from above, that could have some, the fact that she hasn't maybe be able to practice as much. But it's like you said, only because it's so uncharacteristic to see her this uneven, this insecure on the table, you think that there may be an actual reason as opposed to just having a bad day. Oh my God. All right, she just didn't stroke that completely through, and you could see the cue ball skidded. In other words, when you hit it, it kind of slid across the table and just skidded a little bit, but really from her, the way she strokes it. Sometimes it happens because there's dirt on the balls, and right at the contact point, the cue ball hit, but you could see that was just purely from not a pure stroke. And
very rarely will you see that face that you just saw on Alison Fisher, which is almost a little bit of disgust. I don't know that I've actually ever seen it, but it's starting to pile up, and when you've been the #1 player for as long as Alison has, you might miss a shot here and there, but it's very rare to see it for a whole match. We'll see if she can pull herself out. And for Helena, how key is this 9 ball?
Phew.
To take a 2-rack lead in a race to 7.
Well, lucky day for Alison that she is back at the table. The fact that the cue ball was down at the end rail was obviously a plus. Tough shot for Helena. And I'm sure Alison is pretty relieved right about now after that miss on the 9.
It's twice. Twice.
As Steve Tipton gets ready, it gives us a chance to take a look at 2 of the great official products here on tour, the Big Break Rack and Centennial Balls, both from Brunswick Billiards. Quarterfinal action at the QTech US Open 9-Ball Championship, presented by the American Pool Players Association. Mitch Lawrence and the striking Viking, Ava Mattia Lawrence, stunned, as is every single spectator here watching Alison Fisher and Helena Tornfelt, tied at 4 in a race to 7. And right now, it's not about who's playing the best pool. It's about who's going to just play a little bit better than the other one and get through it, because both of these great champions, both U.S. Open champions, Alison the defender, Helena having won it in 2002, neither one of them playing their best pool, and that's being fairly kind about it. We'll see who can pick themselves up and go on from here.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost painful at this stage. The only thing is, it's more painful for them. I mean, we're watching here, we're hurting for them, but I know that, you know, and trying to figure out what is going on, what am I doing, why am I not comfortable, why is this, you know, that's the kind of the kiss of death. You just got to keep on trucking. And Helena's got an opportunity here. She's got an open shot at this one. She's got it. Her trick here is getting it around for the 2 ball without going into the other balls. She needs an open shot at this 2. Looks like she's going to come around 2 rails. Look out for the 3 and 7. Perfect. And you know, Helena doesn't really have anything to be down. She's really started putting things back together. Alison is the one that in game 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 made a mistake, missed a ball, missed position. And from there, Helena took advantage. In that very last game, when Helena had a chance to go ahead 5 games to 3, she missed a tough 9. It wasn't like I choked or I dogged it.
Well, she
That
fouled
was
early.
a tough
She
9
did,
ball.
but she also fouled early in the.
She did in early,
alley.
right? But my point is, she hasn't done a lot wrong in the last few games. She has kind of put it together. So for her to have an open opportunity here, she looks really comfortable at the table again.
True, that kind of stroke is what we're used to seeing out of Helena. And both of these players, tough mental customers. Certainly Allison, we're used to really being tough mentally. And normally she's the one to put the hammer down when
Right.
she has the advantage. But Helena is very tough too, and I agree with what you said, that she doesn't look like she's really down on herself. It's got to be tough.
No, I'm impressed
But
with
she
her
knows
now.
it's 4-4.
Yeah.
It's a fight.
And obviously it's helped that Allison is not up to her game, but I think the fact that Helena is, and she has had problems with that in the past, forgiving herself and letting go. We've talked a lot about it. I've had a lot of conversations with Helena about that. But, you know, that's something I know she's been working on, and maybe this is the time it's going to pay off. Regardless, she still has 4 balls left on the table here. Need to come up for the 7. Wants the cue ball to be about where it is right now after the shot is done. Well done. But needless to say, she's still playing the greatest woman player of all time, Alison Fisher, and even if Helena manages to go ahead 5 games to 4 here, it's far from over.
It's the great thing about sports too. You never know when anything's going to change in a moment's notice. Things kick in. All of a sudden the level rises to where we know it can be and should be.
Surprised here. Helena's going to play this with a little high right to come around. I thought she would draw it into the table and into the side rail and back out again. No problem, coming right at it. A little too far again. Look out, look out. All right, she's okay. And now the beauty with this, again, you have to just cut it in. She may want to add just a pinch of right. Not enough to scratch cross side, just a little bit of right to come a little closer to the 9. This is all about making the ball. Phew. Look out now, look out.
No, she's all right. Well, that had to, that had to be a little nerve-wracking right there, but this would be for a 1-rack lead for Helena Tornfeld. Every shot now an adventure here in Albuquerque. Helena Tornfeld leading by 1. Here in New Mexico, the 5th largest city in New Mexico, Albuquerque. And a fantastic, beautiful, beautiful part of the country. Site of the quarterfinals of the QTER's U.S. Open 9-ball championship. An extra round of coverage for you here. Alison Fisher and Helena Tornfeld. Helena leading 5-4 in a race to 7. For the first time in this match, in rack number 9, we had a break and run by Helena. And Allison would love to answer that and try to get back into the stride that we know
and that was
used to seeing.
Yeah,
and that
was a perfect break, absolutely perfect, and she was rewarded too, Mitch. 1 ball right here, and what she wants to do is try to get the cue ball right about in there. She's going to draw this with bottom left. And look for this combo on the 2-9 right there, right? Straight across. All right, the first part done, came too far for the combo. It's still there, but it's not a combination you want to shoot here. She may be able to shoot a billiard. She may be able to, only if she can shoot a two-way shot and get a safety out of this, will she go for the combination. The billiard looks a lot better here. Hit the left side of the 2, judge how much to hit it, judge the tangent line, and have the cue ball drift into the 9, make the 9 in the corner pocket.
Ken?
Extension.
Yes. She takes her extension. I'm thinking that was a difficult shot on the 1, especially to. In normal times, when she's playing her best, it wouldn't be as much of an issue when she feels the speed and everything.
No,
else.
you're right.
But
you're
that
right.
having missed shots, that was a tough shot on the 1. Forget about perfect position for the 2-9.
She really needed to stroke that. And it doesn't look like she's going for the billiard here. She's not going to take any chances. She cannot afford to lose this game. It looks like she's playing a safety, get the cue ball behind the 9. And she failed to do so.
And that is a disheartened Allison Fisher walking away from the table.
All right, this is one of those shots here. Long, tough shot. I don't have to explain it to you. You can see it right here. And you need to hit it softly because of where the 3 ball is. You don't want the cue ball to go much farther than that, so she can have a shot on the 3. Cue ball's going to get a little cleaning here. It could be some lint or hair caught on the cue ball.
I want to, as tournament director Steve Tipton replaces that ball, I want to correct an error I just made. Coming back into this rack when I said that Albuquerque was the 5th largest city in New Mexico. It is, of course, not. It was just a test for those of you at home in geography. It, of course, is the largest city in New Mexico. It's the 5th largest state in the country is New Mexico. I'd like to try to correct mistakes as we make them.
Yeah. Oh, just barely. She missed it on the pro side, which means normally if you miss it on that side, you have a chance to possibly leave a safety. It's not really what you're going for there. Needless to say, you want to make that ball, but she did get a little unlucky, and it hung right up. Allie's got a tough way to go here, though. You'll see in a second, right underneath her, right there by the side pocket, is the 4. And that's going to be the key shot in this rack.
Wow.
Well, Allie just made the 3 ball the key shot, it looks like. A deep side by Allison. She's already out of line, and she had enough problems with this 4 ball already. And now I don't even know if there's a reason to even play offensively here, Mitch. I think I would almost have to play it safe.
And she's already used her extension. She will have 30 seconds to get down over this shot.
Well, it looks like she is going for it. She's indeed cutting the ball in. Oh, and she did that. You know what? That is an Allison shot right there. Very confident to get through the 8 and the 5 to get up for that 4 ball is a really strong shot. Thin cut on the 3 with the bridge. That was vintage Allison right there, that shot. And here she just wants to come out a little bit for this 5. Look out for the 6. Oh, she must be. I think she's more in shock than anybody else. I was going to say disappointed, but I mean, she's always here. She's always in these matches towards the end, always gets to the semifinals, the finals. It's not like she is, oh, my big chance to make it, towards the end of the tournament, but she must be surprised because she can always count on that straight stroke of hers, and it's just faltering her a little bit right now.
Yeah.
She got lucky. Look at this. I don't know if Helena can make this here.
I thought first it looked like she had enough to be able to get this angle on the 4, but maybe not.
These are tough to tell, even for her who's standing right there. Sometimes it's an optical illusion because that 6 ball is obviously, when she's standing, it looks bigger than it really is because it's closer to you. So it's a close call. No, she can't make it. I don't think.
Looks like she's coming off the rail first.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, she almost hit the perfect shot. She really did a good job there. She hit it just the way she wanted, but she wanted the forward to come out a little bit farther out, or at least land on the end rails. She tried a really tough, really good shot. Lucky break for Allison.
You know, you talk about the level of consistency and excellence, and it's why Allison would be shocked. She's already guaranteed of a 5th place finish. She's made it to the quarterfinals. And when you see her missing shots like that, she has only been out of the top 5 in 4 out of almost 100 events that she's played in.
It's unbelievable. I don't think you find that. I know you can't find that in any other sport anywhere.
That's why, though, we're so shocked to be seeing it. Now it's kind of just, all right, this is a fact of this match. The question is, Helena, who's leading 5-4, she needs to really end this now. She's getting chances. 2 racks away from moving into the semifinals.
There was some self-commentary there. Turn, twist, all kinds of ways. She's not coming through. You can see it on some of the shots. On the overhead in particular, you can see the cue stick coming off a little bit to the side. And I think both players have caught that disease today.
I was going to ask you if when one player really starts doing this a lot, is it contagious? Do you
absolutely
start having those images kind of flying around your head of balls jarring, missing?
It's interesting. A lot of times, and that's, you know, that usually sets, and we've said you know, quite a few times already today, but that it really is what sets Allison apart normally. A lot of times when you have 2 players play, and one player starts hitting the balls poorly, the other one falls into it too, and you have kind of a dog match. Usually Allison, Karen are the 2 players that ignore your moments of you know, dogdom, and they kind of continue to do their own thing.
Right.
But here, both of them are suffering from the same thing right now, and it's just, like you said, who's going to end up getting out ahead at the very end.
And you just heard, you've been hearing something the last 2 shots that you will never hear in an Allison Fisher match, and that is she's made relatively easy shots, and the crowd is applauding for those shots going in.
Everybody's relieved when the ball does fall in.
Well, they want this match to be what I mean, it's tied. We will be tied right now, I hope. Yeah.
You didn't jinx anybody.
Normally you'd say 5-5 race to 7 quarterfinals of the U.S. Open, yippee. But right now it's just who's going to be standing at the end, and we will find out. Rack number 11 tied at 5 here at the QTech Q's U.S. Open 9-Ball Championship. The Sandia Resort and Casino in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We have 8 players left out of 64 that started the week. Allison Fisher and Helena Tornfeld, one of them will get to 7 and move into the semifinals. And it will be an accomplishment whichever one gets there, because this has been a tough, not pretty, but a very tough match. And though we are tied at 5, I think both players, Ava, reeling a little bit about the level of play that they've had. You just keep going. You keep getting up there and keep hitting shots and hope that something's going to kind of click together. And
the last couple of racks, it's been interesting too, because the layouts have been tough. So when you're already feeling a little bit insecure and a little bit off, the last thing you need is for balls to be tied up and for balls to end up on the rail that way they have. So
here's one of the problem balls we mentioned earlier in this rack, the 5, and she's still not happy because
just off. Everything is just off
Yeah.
a little bit. You know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. This is a ball that she has made, you know, 100,000 times in her life, but it's much tougher than it needed to be. And you can see the severe angle she has. She got to hit this with. It looks like she may follow it. No, she's going to hit this with a lot of low left, but a much tougher angle than she had wanted for sure. And she overcut it. She missed it by a mile. Wow. She just drifted too far. She had the perfect angle on that 5. She did not obviously want to scratch there, so she was trying to judge the speed a little bit and then lost track of where she needed to be on the 7, and that's what resulted in Helena not having a chance to take the lead this late in the match and get on the hill first.
she's got to bear down and bury this 9. She does. I think both players are just taking what comes, not knowing right now it's Helena Tornfeld first to the hill. We've had a wonderful week, as always, at the marvelous Sandia Resort and Casino in Albuquerque. Fantastic gaming and entertainment, world-class golf, and a stunning new hotel and spa all make Sandia Resort and Casino far from ordinary. Quarterfinal action of the U.S. Open 9-ball championship, and Helena Tornfeld and Allison Fisher have played 11 racks. Helena Tornfeld on the hill, 1 rack away. Allison Fisher with the break in rack 12. And wow, if you've been with us, you know that we have no idea what to expect right about now. Ball's still moving.
Really firm, strong, good break. Made a ball on the break. Cue ball close to the center of the table, and she has good angle. Pretty severe angle on the 1 ball in here, but the 2 ball being fairly open right there, she doesn't have to do that much with the cue ball. A little right spin to bring it around 2 rails for position on the 2 should take care of that. Not even in the ballpark. Not even close. And Allison is looking to me right now, Mitch, that she just wants to get out of here.
Yep, I agree.
And I am 90%
thought
sure
you'd see that before?
that this is the first time I've ever seen that. I felt it myself when I've really played poorly, like I just want to leave, and you try to have to fight to want to stay there. But this is the first time I've seen Allison like that.
I don't think any other player really wishes, you know, ill on other players. I'm sure there are also a lot of players that are thinking this happens, and it's just so rare to see it happen to Allison. Keep saying it. We talk about it a lot, but it's true. I said to you, watching, that I think it's the first time that I can remember feeling some kind of fear out of Allison when she's over shots. In other words, not that she's letting you know she's afraid, but just the freedom of a stroke and the fact that you can, or she has been able to count on the mechanical side of the game for as long as she has, and when it's not there, that it's deserted her this thoroughly through the match is what's unusual.
You're right.
So we'll see. As we said, this is still not over by a long shot.
No, and she does have her open table right now, the one she was hoping for, with no major issues, no balls frozen to the rail by the side pocket, no clusters anywhere. Make the 4 here, come up for the 3. I mean, 2 balls and come up for the 3. Just enough. I'm going to take an extra deep breath here, a little low right on this cue ball to spin up for the 4 on the side. And things are looking rosy, and for this particular rack, for her to have a chance to tie this up. Oh boy, she's sneaking the balls in there, Mitch. And again, that's another one. Allison usually hits that dead center of that pocket, which is so characteristic of a former snooker player. But now she's banking the balls in from all over the place.
So interesting. The sporting side of this is so interesting. You come into a match and you think you know what's going to happen one way or another. Not the particulars, but you feel like you've got two great players. They both won major championships. They've been around for a while. This is going to be a good, tight, close matchup. And it is a good, tight, close matchup, but for completely different reasons than you thought. And that was a good shot there.
And as
Solid
a player,
stroke.
as a player, you really expect. I mean, they both know each other. They played each other so many times, and they both feel like they would know exactly what to expect of each other too in a U.S. Open situation like this. Not just for us what we were to expect, but and neither one of those players really showed up majority of this match today. But then all of a sudden now, Allison got some air, got an open table, and looking just pretty much as healthy as her normal self here.
We'll see. Nine's been a problem a couple times. Let's see if she can tie this up. And so the crowd excited because, as I said, though it wasn't the way we expected, both players on the hill, one rack to go. The QTech U.S. Open 9-Ball Championship is brought to you by the American Pool Players Association, the world's largest pool league, by Brunswick Billiards, since 1845, the standard of superior craftsmanship preferred by experts around the world, and by QTech serious cues for serious players. Quarterfinal action of the QTech U.S. Open 9-Ball Championship presented by the American Pool Players Association. And I will guarantee you that one of these two players will move into the semifinals after this rack. We are tied at 6, both players on the hill, in a race to 7. Helena Tornfelt won the lag before the match started, and it has given her that right in the 13th rack to be at the break. The sledgehammer, this is where she wants to be. Mitch Lawrence and the striking Viking, Ava Mattia Lawrence. And all we can say is, wow, has this been a match of a different sort between these two great players.
Helena really needs to take her time, focus on this break. She does not need this scratch at all right now. Completely uncalled for, just pure bad luck right there. It was a great break. She came up dry. She didn't make a ball on the break, but it was not for lack of not hitting them firmly, and she hit the cue ball well. It stopped right there and got kicked into the corner pocket. And I mean, this is very fortunate for Allison. The balls are fairly wide open. As you can see, Helena hit those so well that almost all balls except 2 are on one side of that table.
I mean, that is just cold. At Hill, really, really good break, but that is a break of the game. And the question now, obviously, Ava, is, and this is something we would never really say, will Allison finish this rack out?
Yeah, and this ball right here, the 4 ball, could turn out to be her issue. If that 4 ball goes in the side pocket, if she has enough of an angle to fairly easily make that in the side pocket, then I say yes. If it doesn't, then she's got some work to do, because you see the 5 is clear on the other side of the table. And getting from the 4 to the 5 and still feeling confident you're going to make it is a difficult task, and it looks like she can't do it. So she's right now, from the way she played position on this 3, looks like she can't do it. And she's going to have to really be a bit of a surgeon here. Make this 3 ball and then come down and literally try to play it right about in here to where she has a shot between the 7 and the 8.
So many questions right now on this shot.
Oh, she's trying to draw it straight into the side rail and back out again. Tough touch here. Oh, look out, 7. Oh, that is as pure as it gets right there.
Especially given what's happened in the previous 12 racks.
No question. And this is your key shot of this rack, and I would venture to say of the entire match. Making this, putting a solid stroke on it with center ball to drift the cue ball straight across and playing this 4 all the way down the corner. And from there, things are wide open. This is the shot. Talk about stepping up when you need to, huh?
I was going to say before, sometimes you just got to suck it up no matter what's going on. And if anyone can do it, it is this woman. 2 wonderful shots back to back. You got to just keep it going.
And again, if, you know, more power to her. Very impressive if Allison runs out here with the pressure of not playing that well, knowing that both players are on the hill, not feeling comfortable at the table. But at the same time, my heart goes out to Helena because she did put a really good break on that. She just got very unfortunate for the cue ball to get knocked in. Never even had a chance. Oh, Allison. Oh, she left herself a tester here. You can see that backwards. That's a tough angle to see. She can't make it in the right-hand corner pocket because the 9 is in the way, so she has to backwards cut this. And you're cutting it into a blind pocket. You can't really see it out of the corner eye. It's hard to judge where that pocket is, so this is a tough, difficult shot. Oh, and it's going to stay. Oh, wow. Helena, you see how deep that is in the pocket. Can't hit that side rail on these tournament edition tables. You got to hit the center of the heart of the pocket, and she didn't. And Helena's looking at this because it's so deep. You could literally miss this whole ball by trying to go rail first. You have to hit almost the ball and the rail at the same time. Just like that, and then she needs to spin up high enough to get a shot in the 8, and she did.
Work.
You can feel the tension in here.
Look, pretty much said it all right there out of Allison.
Yeah. But even now, it's not like you just sit back and go, well, Allison just lost by that, Helena. I mean, there's still work for Helena to do, and even though there's only 2 balls on the left on the table, she's going the wrong way with the cue ball here because of where that 8 is, so she's forced to play a 2 or 3 rail position, and it's a touchy little speed shot. Oh, she wants that to hurry up. All right, just enough where it's the percentage is in your favor to make it. If it would have stopped a foot short, I don't know.
She will take a long, hard look at this. If she makes it, she moves to the semifinals. If not, Allison will have another crack.
Well, Mitchell, the only way to put that is that this is almost fitting. The way this match has been going, this is what you almost expect. Allison making that mistake on the 7, and then Helena on the 9. It kind of fits the way this whole match has been going.
And if it's going to end here, it's going to end with
a bang.
A bag.
Well, I mean, this is a tough bank. I don't think she'll be going for the bank. The move here is to hit this with some left spin, leave the 9 ball on the end rail, and a long, difficult bank. Length of the table for Helena.
I think you heard an ooh from the crowd because they were expecting Allison to go for that.
But no, she definitely wanted that
That's the right
save.
play right there.
the right play. The only problem with it is she didn't hit it as well as she wanted to. So she didn't leave really a bank for Helena, but she's left a definite cut shot.
Absolutely.
Really tough, very long, super thin cut, but still a cut shot that I don't think Helena expected right there.
That was terrible. That was awful.
You will see a lot of head shaking out of both players. I think both of them a little shell-shocked that it came about the way that it did. But the bottom line is the defending champion still alive. A fifth-place finish for Helena Tornfeld. And now it's time for a super shot of the match brought to you by QTech Q's. And in the first rack, we saw this out of the Duchess of Doom, and we thought, well, we are in for a joyride. A terrific shot early on. You see it there, 9-ball off the 5, just sneaks in. Allison Fisher took a 1-rack lead, but from there it was tough going. Bottom line, 7-6 over Helena Tornfeld. And as we look at our updated road to the final, Allison Fisher will meet the winner of the quarterfinal matchup between Vivian Villarreal and Pam Treadway. Keep your eyes open for all the great matches coming up from Albuquerque. For the Striking Viking, Ava Mattia Lawrence, I'm Mitch Lawrence. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. So long from New Mexico.